lifeless candidate and job provider in 2019, says article. Let's see, rate hike, court rules in CPC suit today. National Assembly resumes today. Reps suspend sitting to mourn late Adedoyin. Tinubu says headsman crisis caused by water scarcity. Nigeria bleeding under Chinese foreign loans, says Duke. And let's see if we can take one or two more stories. CJN appeal court president advise AMCON on debt recovery. And of course, SEC to implement commodity exchange system in Nigeria.
Dear listeners, great to let you know that we're streaming live on our YouTube channel this morning at 32FM 949 at 32FM 949 on YouTube. Go there. Go see how the studio looks like. Drop a comment there. And more importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to the Guardian newspaper for today. From there, choice of Atiku's deputy splits Southeast. Choice of Atiku's deputy splits Southeast. New modular 5,000 barrels per day refinery. 330 megawatts plans to boost Nigeria's energy capacity. 2019 and promises of unprecedented presidential challenge. As from the Guardian, Oxfam says Africans at risk of climate-induced hunger, poverty. Well, I know in Israel, they're talking about precision agriculture now. Well, court admits exhibit in alleged 6.8 billion naira fraud trial of ex-MD of Nama. Others. PDP senators won APC, Lawan over plot to impeach Saraki. Still from the Guardian newspaper this morning, lawyers decry rising global rights violation. Government raises panel to fight insecurity. 2019 election will be tough, brutal, says Ezekwesili. Still from there, let's check the sports side now. NFF laments Eagles' apathy to Uyo camp as only 3 players in camp. Federer is top seed as Asian tennis circuit moves to Shanghai. Okay, let's go to the business side now. New modular 5,000 barrels per day refinery, 300 megawatts plans to boost Nigeria's energy capacity. Sako opens to public, list on stock market. Okay, all right, that'll be there. That'll be all from The Guardian. Let's check the Vanguard headlines today.
The headlines contained here: Imo tension mount in Abga over consensus candidate. Ex-Med leader dumps APC for PDP with 10,000 loyalists. ELC urges police hierarchy to steer clear of partisan politics. NAPC supports farmers to meet rubber export demand. Anxiety over fate of Saraki Dogara as National Assembly resumes. Okay, let's see. Edo North, Ali Mikena Group urges Momo to resign from politics. Evans's trial stalled by his lawyer's absence. Minimum wage stalemate as government insists on 25,000 naira. Federal government acquires unmanned aerial system to curtail insecurity. Delta South APC primaries for central aspirant protest exclusion. Buhari would have arrested me if he had found me wanting, says Atiku. Buhari would have arrested me if he found me wanting, says Atiku. LSE Nigeria spent $11 billion on petrochemicals import annually. Nigeria spends $11 billion on petrochemicals import annually. Let's see one or two more headlines from here. Okay, let's just move on away from the Vanguard newspaper today.
All right, from the Nation newspaper for today, Buhari Atiku, a battle of integrity over 2019 poll. How to resolve farmers' headers crisis by Tinubu, Rebadu, Sani. Bindo for Buhari as Fayoshe threatens to quit over Atiku. Buhari campaign team confused, says Atiku camp. Abdurazak is Kwara APC governorship candidate. How to end others' farmers' clashes by experts. Or still from there, minister others pay tribute as Baba Salah dies. INEC bars Buhari, Atiku, others from campaigning till the 18th of November. 84 thugs held for attempts to disrupt primaries. All All right, so from the Nation newspaper this morning, ABGA, ADP, PDM, AGA pick candidates. Saraki must quit, says Mwagege, and Duke expresses fear over Nigeria's debts. Dane threatens to kill wife, daughter while drunk. That'll be all from the Nation.
And quickly taking one headline from this day newspaper before moving over to the Sun newspaper today. NSC suspends trading on the shares of 6 firms for non-filing of accounts. And Dangote seeks deepening of African economy through free trade. Let's go over to the Sun newspaper where we have the following headlines. PDP convention, Fayose others threaten to dump PDP. Nigerian workers may get 30,000 naira as new minimum wage. Fayose threatens to dump PDP over Tambuwal's seat. Of course, I took a similar headline there. Let's see some sports story. Libya's no threat to Eagles, says Rufai, and Monreal in fresh trouble. And that'll be all from the Sun newspaper.
All right, from the Premium Times headlines for today, APC primaries, Osumbo heads appeal committee. Fayose threatens to leave PDP over Atiku's emergence. EU demands inquiry into killing of Bulgarian journalists. Lagos APC primaries, police arrest 84 suspects for violence. PDP's journey to Aso Rock Villa has begun. Secondos. How courts can help AMCON recover 5.4 trillion naira debts. Noga and PDP primary, Tambuwa IBB congratulate Atiku. UI produced 232,225 graduates since inception. VC. Buhari not taking sides in farmers' herders conflict. Ribadu, our victory in 2019 inevitable. PDP. PDP replies APC over vote buying allegation. Well, that'll be all from the Premium Times headlines this morning. We're going to short break now, and we'll be right back.
Every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9. From motivationals
To news,
to sports and talk.
we'll give you all you need to make the best of your day.
On the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9. 32 FM 94.9.
You're still listening to the paper review on 32 FM 94.9. Just to quickly remind you that we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can get all the details as it's coming live from our 32 FM studios, and also get to see how the studio looks like. Head on to YouTube right now, search for 32 FM 949, click like and subscribe so you can get all the details for as it concerns other programs as well, not just the paper review this morning. We start off today with stories from the Punch newspaper. Saraki Melaye Murray Bruce sue IG, demand $500 million naira damages rather. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, Senators Dino Melaye and Ben Murray Bruce have sued the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, over their invitation by the Nigeria Police. Saraki Melaye and Murray Bruce were among the 3 leaders of the People's Democratic Party who held a protest march to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the force headquarters in Abuja on Friday to protest against the outcome of the Osun State governorship election. The police had invited only Melaye and Murray Bruce to appear before the Federal Capital Territory Command over alleged assault on its men and destruction of its property. The lawmakers, however, failed to respond to the invitation. Instead, they sued the Inspector General and the Commissioner of Police, FCT Command, praying the court to, among others, direct the defendant to, quote, jointly and severally pay the applicant the sum of 500 million naira, being the pecuniary and exemplary damages arising from the humiliation, intimidation, harassment, and unlawful attempt to arrest the applicant by the agents of the second respondent, who they call the Commissioner of Police. From the Punch, Saraki Melaye, Murray Bruce sue IG, demand 500 million naira damages. And still from the Punch, National Assembly resumes today. Reps suspend sitting to mourn late Adedoyin. Members of the House of Representatives will suspend legislative activities for one day on Tuesday, which is today, to mourn their late colleague, Ms. Funke Adedoyin. The Punch has learned the members had gone on annual recess since July 24 and were to resume fully today after the primaries of their political parties ahead of the 2019 poll. However, while they were on recess, Adedoyin from Kwara State died of the cancer-related ailment on September 28. A former Minister of State for Health, the late Adedoyin, who was 54, also served as the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Army till she died. From the Punch, National Assembly today. National Assembly resumes today. Reps suspend sitting to mourn late Adedoyin.
All right, from the Guardian newspaper today, PDP senators warn APC, Lawan ever plot to impeach Saraki. Senators from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have warned their colleagues in the All Progressives Congress, APC, against plans to impeach Senate President Bukola Saraki. Senate Minority Leader Abiodun Olujimi said in an interview yesterday that Nigerians should hold Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan responsible should crisis erupts in the upper chamber. The call became necessary following the tension in the upper chamber as it convenes from its long break. Lawan was reported to have threatened that the APC senators will remove Saraki through an impeachment process when it reopens for legislative activities today. From The Guardian, PDP senators warn APC, Lawan ever plots to impeach Saraki.
And now let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. Minimum wage stalemate as government insists on 25,000 naira. Negotiations by a tripartite committee on the new national minimum wage have run into a stalemate following the federal government's stance that it cannot afford more than 25,000 naira per month. But Labour and organized private sector OPS have agreed on a 30,000 naira minimum wage per month. This is even as President of Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Wabba, told newsmen in Abuja yesterday that the tripartite committee had completed its assignment for onward submission to President Muhammadu Buhari. From the Vanguard, minimum wage stalemate as government insists on 25,000 naira.
Choice of Atiku's deputy splits Southeast. Rejection will backfire on party. Igbo youths won. Our strategy is oust Buhari, gain restructuring. And presidency not for sale. APC tells PDP the question of who becomes the running mate of the People's Democratic Party's PDP standard bearer, Atiku Abubakar, has thrown the Igbo nation into a dilemma, while some political stakeholders in the Southeast are angling for the position, saying it would bolster their demand for restructuring. Others disagreed. But even while the debate rages, some prominent PDP members from the region have reportedly begun underground moves to clinch the seat. Sources said the Jocelyn assumed feverish pitch before the party's national convention with the appointment of business mogul Chief Emmanuel Wayan as the director of Atiku's campaign council. Posters emerged yesterday purporting to show the party's former national chairman, Dr. Nwodo, as Atiku's running mate. Nwodo, however, denied eyeing such an ambition. Nwodo has not seen those campaign posters. Quoting him now, not also discussed with anybody about aspiring to become vice presidential candidate to Alhaji Atiku. From the Guardian newspaper, choice of Atiku's deputy splits Southeast.
Okay, now still in the Vanguard newspaper, Buhari would have arrested me if he had found me wanting, says Atiku. People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has said that President Muhammadu Buhari would have arrested him if he had found him wanting, and that he's the most investigated politician in Nigeria. Atiku made this known in a statement on Monday by his campaign organization in Abuja, saying vindictiveness of President Buhari would have arrested Abubakar if he had been found wanting. From the Vanguard, Buhari would have arrested me if he had found me wanting, says Atiku.
Oxfam says Africans at risk of climate-induced hunger, poverty. Unless African governments take swift action against global warming, millions of people in the continent are in danger of being pushed into poverty and hunger. Oxfam International, an amalgamation of 20 non-governmental organizations, NGOs, working with partners in over 90 countries to end the injustices that cause poverty, raised the alarm yesterday. This followed a new report released yesterday by the Global Scientific Authority on Climate Change, the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. In the report, IPCC said the planet would reach the crucial threshold of 1.50 Celsius above pre-industrial levels by 2030, precipitating the risk of extreme drought, wildfires, floods, and food shortages for hundreds of millions of people. From The Guardian, Oxfam says Africans at risk of climate-induced hunger, poverty. We have with us in the studio this morning, Benga.
Good morning.
Benga Bankbushi is a legal practitioner.
Okay, we've talked about some stories today on the show, and the first one is Saraki Melaye Muribruce, who Inspector General demand 500 million naira damages.
That must be as a result of the experience they had in the hands of the police when they protested the other time in Abuja. But the point has to be made that our police will really need to actually be enlightened on the legality or constitutionality of their action. And it is becoming a penchant. Law courts in several cases has actually made it abundantly clear that people have rights of assembly and association, especially when they are not violent. And that much was established the other time when the likes of Bukola Saraki, Dino Melaye, and a host of others actually protested. So the idea is, I think our laws should continue to be tested. And of course, public institutions should also be made aware of their responsibilities and the acceptable civilized conduct in such circumstances. So I am all for it because it was uncalled for. The idea is these individuals said they have grievances with the role played by Independent National Electoral Commission in Osun State. While one can actually dispute the rightness or wrongness of the action they have taken, but there is absolutely nothing unconstitutional about it. And for the police to now go to where they are having their assembly or where they are having their protest and be tear-gassing the principal actors, I think leaves much to desire.
Now, we have this headline from The Guardian. Lawyers decry rising global rights violation. The International Bar Association, IBA, has decried the rising cases of human rights violation across the globe. The global lawyers' body said certain core values underpinning democratic societies were being corrosively eroded.
Well, there are no two ways about it. It is a clear and present danger. It is a clear and present danger, especially in Muhammadu Buhari's Nigeria, where you have a situation where a law court would actually give an order or judgment in some instances, and the federal government of Nigeria, most especially, would flout such. So if we are saying that human rights are being actually trampled upon, one would expect such actions or inactions in a dictatorship. So it becomes more galling when we're talking about a democratic setting like Nigeria, and you have instances where people are flouting rules and order every now and then, especially coming from the executive arm. So it is a clear and present danger, and one that every rational human being should decry, because the idea is if rights have been trampled upon, if rights have been violated, and no dissenting views of voices have been raised to question such, it is only a matter of time before we are back into dictatorship. So it is a very good action, or it is a very good demand the lawyers are making, And I think it is even more opposite in our own country here,
Right.
where we have had several instances of people being given court order, but because they are not in alliance or they are not having a comfortable relationship with the government of the day, they are treated with the reason.
So what you have is, the federal government decided on which court order.
No, which court
to
order
obey.
to obey or not. And I don't think that is the way it should be. Because the point is, if you are running the government, there will always be instances when some court judgment will be against you. And what will now qualify you as a responsible government is to respect all. So far, it is a legitimate order made by a law court.
The National Assembly is resuming today, and there's been news about impeachment still flying around. What do you think will happen by the end of today?
Well, the idea is, we have said it time and again, and while opinions are divided as to the morality or otherwise of a Senate president coming from the minority party, the idea still remains that if the APC would remove Abubakar Bukola Saraki because it defected from their party, they should ensure that it is done within the ambit of the law. And what the law actually says is that in such circumstances, if you want to remove any presiding officer, 2/3 of the membership, not 2/3 of the people sitting, 2/3 of the membership should actually be in place. And of course, if they can carry it, then the presiding officer will stand removed. But the question every reasonable Nigerian should ask is, at the moment, as we had, do you really think the APC has that 2/3, the mandatory 2/3 required by the Constitution? It will not, I don't think it will augur well for this democracy to actually do anything that is blatantly illegal. You don't say because you don't cut your nose. I mean, you don't cut your face to spite your nose. If you think you don't have, and of course, so many individuals have also advised the ruling party that it is something that should be done within the ambit of legality.
All right, precisely
don't be
because
forceful about it.
Lawan said, well, they will, threaten to impeach, or of course, to remove Saraki through an impeachment process when it reopens today.
They have been saying
that isn't illegal, is it?
Did you say it is illegal?
I'm asking. It isn't illegal. Really.
Lawan is a APC majority leader. He's a majority leader in the House. Of course, there is nothing bad in having the ambition that you want to remove an hairy member or somebody who used to be a member of your party and has defected. And if you are convinced of the fact that he got his current position because of his membership of your party, and since he's no longer there, no, we have to be sincere with one another. You see, there is legality, there is morality. I think it is grossly immoral for somebody to have emerged from a particular political party. We are all aware of the circumstances that surrounded his emergence. Talking about Bukola Saraki in the first instance, it was not a very tidy emergence. But the point is, or the fact was, it was a member of the APC. But the moment you actually defect, what you would expect of someone who is exemplary in conduct is to resign. But he has refused to do so. And the idea is the APC, they have every right to actually get him impeached if they have the requisite number. I think the word we should be hammering on is that they should have the requisite number because it will not make sense to have a throwback to those days of illegality when you have seven members of House of Assembly impeaching a sitting governor. The idea is the guidelines are well stated by the Constitution, and what we're advocating is that those guidelines should be adherently followed.
Let's talk about minimum wage. Stalemate as government insists on 25,000 naira.
Well, that is ridiculous.
You just giggled.
Just yesterday, the NLC chairman actually said something to the effect that the federal government would announce I think what the newspapers actually reported yesterday was that they had already agreed on a particular amount, and that proclamation was made by no less a person than the NLC president himself.
For 30,000 naira.
That the federal government will soon make an announcement that they had agreed upon. So if the federal government again is reneging on the agreement they had, it shows the kind of people we have in power. They cannot be trusted. And 25,000 naira in present day Nigeria is ridiculous.
At least double it.
I don't think it will be too much.
Which is the price of Nigeria itself.
Given the avalanche of resources that have been expended on political office holders. So if we have individuals, are you now saying that if you're not a politician, then good life is not meant for you?
But then we've asked this question in the past, that can the government really pay 50,000 naira?
But it is. I don't think it was 50,000.
It was 66,500 first.
At
then
first.
it was brought down
You see,
to
the idea is
50,000.
this. I think what the labor organization actually wanted was a sort of commitment on the part of the government. If the federal government is willing and able to pay 50,000 naira, for instance, I'm sure not all states will be able to pay it. But the idea is we'll definitely have an increment from the ridiculous 18,000 naira that it is at the present moment. So the idea is have a commitment, and if economy improves, of course, you can always
Improve on the
up
minimum
the
wage
ante.
as well.
I think that is the principle from which they are operating.
Okay, interesting. Let's see if we can discuss one or two more stories from the Vanguard newspaper. Buhari would have arrested me if he had found me wanting, says article. He says he's the most investigated politician in Nigeria.
So, well, I think it is a statement that has some level of legitimacy. The truth of the matter is we have somebody who is very vindictive at the helm of our affairs. We are all witnesses to what is currently playing out in Sambo Dasuki's case. Several court pronouncements have been made. Until date, none has been respected. And we have come to understand the fact that this deliberate flouting of court pronouncement was due to the history that he had with Muhammadu Buhari. So if Atiku Abubakar is saying that, and it is not just limited to Buhari, I think if Atiku Abubakar had been found wanting, he would or should have been arrested long before now, because we have had instances. I mean, he has had a number of disagreements with successive government in this country, starting from Olusegun Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, then Buhari. So if he's saying that vindictive Buhari would have arrested him, I think it's a statement that can hardly be faulted.
All right, well, still from the nation, Buhari Atiku in battle of integrity over 2019 poll.
Well, that will be left to Nigerians to determine. I know we actually got Buhari elected on the basis of the fact that he's a man of integrity. 3 years down the line now, I'm not so sure Nigerians would be confident to proclaim him as, maybe he's not stealing the money directly. Maybe Buhari is not dipping his hands into the till.
I think what is integrity? Okay, good. And you're trying to explain that now.
Yes.
Because really, what is integrity?
That is the point, and that is why it becomes a very difficult concept to determine. Because if you are saying we have a leader who is not directly stealing our money, but he has got himself surrounded with individuals who are stealing the country blind, and on occasions when people actually raised hue and cry about it, these individuals are not dealt with because they have the support or the confidence of the president. So I ask, what is integrity? Just like you're asking, I'm confused as well. So when Buhari apologists describe him as a man of integrity, I really do not know what you're talking about.
Well, speaking of the President Buhari has given an order for the inauguration of a Defense and Security Committee that will tackle security threats and recommend solutions ahead of the 2019 general elections. Minister of Defense Mansour Danadi disclosed this yesterday in Abuja while inaugurating the committee on behalf of the president. Is this necessary?
Well, every effort is welcomed. Some months back, I am confident of the fact that we recorded some very huge victory as it relates to security. But in recent time again, we have had sporadic emergence of the insurgency again, and I think the government will need to do more to ensure that we actually cut the hunger of this insecurity down to size once and for all. So if this new initiative is what they think would actually deepen the security infrastructure of the country, I think they should be given all the support.
Ahead of the 2019 general elections, that seems to be the focus.
Well, the point is, I don't think Boko Haram, for some reasons, why you cannot really pin it on anybody, but I really think for some reasons, Boko Haram will not be as virulent as they used to be. Now we have two Fulani men actually contesting. Why it became pronounced, we don't have to lose sight of that fact. It was because Jonathan actually contested in 2015. And they were of the opinion that because he was an incumbent president, he might want to use the power of incumbency to railroad himself into power. And that was why they were not taking any stages. But you would also perceive that in recent times that we have that the two major parties in the country have actually put forth two Fulani. You don't have the attack as regularly as we used to have it. So I think one of their demands, even though they were going about in a very long way, is being met. So I don't expect us to have that kind of constant attacks like we used to.
All right, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Monday said the present administration had so far provided interest-free loans totaling 15.183 billion naira to over 300,000 beneficiaries across the country. He said the beneficiaries included traders, artisans, and farmers. Osinbajo spoke at the 9th Presidential Quarterly Business Forum held at the Old Banquet Hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. We have to open the phone lines now. 0705 500949, 0809 700949, 0906 200949. Let somebody tell Fayoshe that he cannot have his way always. We all supported him when he picked Kolapo in Ekiti. Now he should respect the decision of the party on Atiku Abiono Adetuji. It came early. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
That's very low.
I just want to ask you, the police have right to invite anybody. Is it unconstitutional not to invite Yam? You saw what happened in school. They did not dump them in the island. But the people went to police. He has asked a passing of to our children. Police have right to invite anybody, and they still follow that. They did not go to the house where they were there. You go to hospital, it's supposed to
Okay, good morning.
So, did you pick?
Well, I think he was expressing his reservations as to the point I made about individuals having the right to protest and all of that. What we are saying is this latest invitation by the police to Dino Melaye, to Ben Bruce, was actually premised on the protest they had in Abuja. It was only Saraki they excluded this time around. The reason for that I wouldn't know. But I'm saying every Nigerian has the right to associate. Every Nigerian has the right to actually combat and to protest. So fight is not violent.
All right. Hello, good morning.
This comrade from Ago.
Okay, comrade.
I'm sincerely glad for the suit filed against the IG by the outright violations of the fundamental rights of the protesters of our distinguished senators. But my area of concern is that it seems that it's only the elite of the society that sets the provision of the Constitution. The common man of the street, their fundamental rights being violated several times by security agents. How can we have the less privileged, who are not elite in our society, to defend and to protect the violation of their fundamental rights? Because we have a barrister there.
All right.
I want to shed light on that. It's a very good point.
Thank you, comrade. The Osun election is already at the tribunal. The Saraki-led demonstration was therefore grossly irresponsible. Janet from Ibadan, thank you. We got your message. Someone is trying to call the SMS line. Please, it's strictly for SMS 0906 200949. What Governor Yofaushi is enjoying most is in position of his choice candidate, regardless of popularity or antecedent to win election. Perhaps if he joins APC, it will waive impending calamity awaiting him. Wale from Akobo. Thank you. We got a message. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please go on.
No, I want to talk about fundamental human rights and security of this country. What is constituency? Now, people will now be doing their own ways. When they now come out on them, they say they are violating their human rights. See, exactly. If they have killed the Kiorani at that time, what will happen to Nigeria? People should not violate their own human rights before the police will invite them. Dino Melaye and Bush will go to the police. The police has the right to invite them, and they should go and answer them. And about the analyst, Benga has his own personal opinion. But since I know Benga did not like this government, I was like,
God bless Nigeria. Thank you for calling.
That is a very damaging remark to me.
All right, 0705 500949. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
morning.
From Shokari,
Oh, go on, sir.
I think beyond all this backlash and the marketing trash of political distraction, there are certain things we need in our presidential candidates. We need somebody who can drive our political economy and can, a stabilized person.
Precisely.
Somebody who can social this country. So that's what the thing we need to look for in our presidential candidates. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling. Keeping it brief. 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949 for your text messages. 0906 2000 949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So don't fear for me.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Abdullahi. People will not like you when you say the truth. But you don't need to bother about that. The truth of the matter is this country has been damaged from the military era. If you want to make sure the integrity, let us put the aggregate of integrity from the military era to now. Integrity is not only measured in terms of money. There are other things that we should measure integrity. Finally, you're talking about 2019 will be tough and brutal. It is true. If injustice repeat itself like it did in Osun State, it's going to be very brutal. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria.
Fire share should not cause any problem in PDP this time around. The primary was transparent enough, Comrade Lekon. We got a message. Atiku's corrupt past is haunting him. No vacancy in Aso Rock in 2019. I didn't get his name. Abidin or something. Abin from Oyo. Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this Comrade Lekon.
Yes, Comrade Lekon, please go on.
I want to react to the choice of vice presidential candidate to Atiku. I think PDP should not make a very dangerous mistake. If they want to have a free election, I think they should come to the West here and pick the running mate for Atiku. Because they already have stronghold in the Southeast. Here in the Southwest, they have no pillar. So they're supposed to come here, pick a popular candidate that can gather the food for them here. But going to Southwest, going to Southeast is very dangerous for them. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Comrade Lekon there doing the work of a political strategist, offering it for free.
Really interesting strategy.
I think we have a call there. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Ogunade from the line.
Please go on.
I want to react on the arrest of, the invitation issued to members of National Assembly by the Nigerian members of the Nigerian police. My own suggestion as regard that is this. Firstly, you don't have the right to embark on such a protest, a peaceful protest. The answer is yes, as enshrined in the Constitution. One such, protest is not violence, and the way they went about it, it is not go violent. So for the members of Nigerian police now to send an invitation to them, that shows the levels of intolerance of our Nigerian police force. And it also shows that they are trying to be one-sided. We don't need to have the details of, a particular organ of government. I'm talking about the executive here. So they should watch it very well and, have accordance to the wishes of the, members of the public as well as the of the Constitution. Good morning. Thank you.
Okay, good morning.
All
Thank
right.
you for calling.
Thank you. When the PDP or the APC told the PDP that presidency is not for sale, what does that mean?
They are in the best position to see what they mean.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Omar Raju from Nigeria.
Okay, please go on.
In 2012, when the Jonathan government increased the price of the petrol, all the Nigerians went out and they protested. And the government of that day did not arrest anybody. And the ROS of that protest, the government. And the government and the Jonathan government at that time did not arrest any one of them. So even what is happening to what INEC is doing now concerning the Osun election and the election. We Nigeria are supposed to come out, not only the House of Assembly alone, even we Nigeria are supposed to come out to protest. Forget about they have taken the case to the court. We are supposed to go out and protest for all the irregularities we are seeing in those elections. So for them to come out and protest, why did they summon them? So they don't need to summon them. Even the IG is supposed to leave the court.
Okay.
Their own stand.
Okay.
Right for the IG.
Thank you for calling. We do have to let you go. Thank you, yes. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Fine, thank you.
Olutayo is my name. I doubt if we will be able to move forward if we see the truth and fail to hammer the truth. Did Melaye and his squad, did they get permission to carry out that demonstration?
They don't need permission.
Was it not so constitutional that between Melaye and the police, they were trying to work their way into the police headquarters? Did the police announce the result? What's the police business with INEC announcing results? Then we will see the truth and we will refuse to say the truth. That's why we are so backward as a nation. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Thank you. There are people will still fear Buhari in the February 2019 election. This is from Comrade Femdada. Okay. When you talk of integrity, please stop that comparison. Atiku is chameleonic and has nothing to offer the masses. The trial of Saraki Melaye and Bruce are rabble-rousers. They are not good role model for the youth. Fawale would soon move to APC to save his face. Alongside now, someone is still trying to call the number. How will Obasanjo react now that Atiku has emerged PDP presidential candidate? Auchi, thank you. We got a message. So please are now free to invite anybody they like when you protest. But when General Buhari protested in 2014 with his co-members, then the police invite them. Paul from Morita, God bless you for me, 32 FM, your state and Nigeria. Thank you very much. We have another one here. I think I will call it. Let's take the call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Joseph speaking.
Okay, please go on.
Yes, concerning Dino Melaye and the police, I think the situation ourselves. Was Dino Melaye conduct? Was it distinguished? No. On inviting him, you can see how he was trying to force his way into the police headquarters. He was trying to manhandle the police officer. People are everywhere. There is the limit you can stand in the place of provocation. Assuming the police officer could not stand that provocation and he fired a gunshot, there will be a condemnation on the police side. But no one is condemning Dino Melaye's actions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Good morning, Barrister. Kindly treat this. Do you think Okonjo-Iweala can accept alliance with Atiku to become his VP? Phoebe Daniels from Oluyole. Let's always be positive in our thoughts. Why should any responsible person say 2019 election will be brutal? This is from Ojo from Ogbomosho. Okay, can you react to
one is this. You don't have to seek anybody's permission before you protest. I think that point has to be made. And when we are making public pronouncements, we need to be sure of our legal footing before we make this pronouncement. Law courts, Supreme Court has actually made a pronouncement. You don't need police permit to protest. As to Dino Melaye's conduct, I think it was televised and it was truly deplorable. But the point is, if a man is conducting himself like that, then there is nothing stopping the police from arresting him on the spot, because that conduct was likely to breach public peace. So that is that about that. Then Comrade Amolulu actually asked a question as to how we can enlighten the poor as to their right. I think the first thing is for the poor to have a copy of the Constitution, possibly in the language they understand. I think the first step is understanding what you're writing. The moment you do that, it makes every other job easier.
We're thinking to bring up a whole new discussion around getting people to have the Nigeria Constitution, because definitely so many people do not know the content of the Nigeria Constitution.
Will Okonjo-Iweala accept an alliance
Well,
with
that is Okonjo's decision to make. But I think on a good day, she might really find it difficult to come back to Nigeria to work, because we are all witnesses to the experience, the very horrible experience she had in the hands of her detractors after she left office the other time. So I really think it will be difficult for her to come around again.
Okay, because we have to run off now. We do have to thank you for coming, Barrister, being a bounty on the paper review. We will return tomorrow, though, 6 o'clock to 6:45. I'm Abdullahi Fawale.
To Romadi from Ashijere, we got your text, but because of our time, we can take it. Thank you very much. My name is Olutayo Ogunade. Do have a great day.